Hello, you're welcome to the Women Skills Hub YouTube channel, and today we are going to be making yogurt. Okay, so this video was requested by some of our status viewers on WhatsApp when I made a post about what videos would you like us to post on our YouTube channel, and let's say majority voted for yogurt, and here we are. This is how to make yummy, creamy homemade yogurt suitable for business. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's dive into the video. Our yogurt, I know we already have videos on how to make yogurt, but this time around I decided to make a video using the Yoghurt starter. Okay, this starter is one of the best starter, but then it's a little bit expensive and sometimes you may not get it in your environment. Okay, but I know you already have the several methods to make your yogurt, so let's just get started. So the first thing I want to do is to measure our milk. We already know the formula, the recipe, which is 5 5 5 5. Okay, so that means if I'm using 5 cup of milk, then I'll be using 5 tablespoons of starter. But in our case, we are not using the already made starter. Okay, we are using the sachet starter. Okay, so you can see I'm trying to measure the milk. You can see the first thing I did was to flush out the milk so that I don't end up packing too much inside the cup. That's one thing about using a measuring cup. Okay, so I just flush it, then I just add it to my measuring cup, then I try to like flatten the top of it. Okay, I hope you understand. So I said I'm using 5 5 5 5. Okay, that means 5 cup of milk, 5 tablespoons of starter, but in this our case we are using the sachet starter. Okay, the powder starter. Then we'll be using 5 cups of room temperature water, 5 cups of hot boiling water. Okay, so if you'll be making 2 cups of yogurt, okay, 2 cups of milk, you'll be using 2 tablespoons of your yogurt starter, the liquid one now, 2 cups of room temperature water, that is normal water, like the pure water. You can see here I have pure water. Okay, then you'll be using 2 cups of hot boiling water. I hope you understand me. Okay, so you can see that I'm trying to like measure the amount of cups that I have here. So you can see I just wanted to explain further so that we can be clear about the previous videos that I had done. All right, so in here what I have is 5.5 cups of milk. It's not up to 6, it's not up to half. Let me just say 5.5. Okay, so I have 5.5 cups of milk, so I'll be using 5 cups of hot boiling water, 5 cups of room temperature water. That is because the milk I have here is not a full cream milk, so I was kind of skeptical. So I don't want to have a watery yogurt, so I was like, okay, let me just use 5 cups instead of 5.5. The milk that I actually measure is 5.5 instead of me using 5.5. Do you understand? We all know the recipe calls for equal amount of ingredients, right? So let's move on. So now that I have my milk measured inside my airtight container, we know to make a yogurt you need to have an airtight container or a food warmer. Okay, so now I'm going to measure 5 cups of room temperature water. Remember I said it needs to, I'm using 5 cups instead of 5.5 to balance the milk, which is 5.5 cups of milk. I use 5 cups because I couldn't get full cream milk, and I wanted to just make yogurt. So I was like, okay, you know what, since I'm using instant fill milk, I've never used it before, let me not use 5.5. Okay, I don't want to have watery yogurt. Okay, so I use 5 cups. So now can you see where I fill the water? You can see when you check a measuring cup, there's a line. Okay, there's a round mark around it, so that is where you want to put your water. Okay, because if you put it you fill your cup to the brim, you may end up not having a balance. I will always advise that you start having a thick yogurt, then later on you can then add extra water to mix up your yogurt to get the consistency that you want. If you want it thick, you can just leave it the way it is. Then if you want it to be lighter, then you can just add extra water after you've made your yogurt. Then, because if you add extra water, okay, while you're about to make it, you may not know if something goes wrong with your yogurt. Let's say your heat was not enough, your yogurt didn't ferment enough. So if you added too much water from the start, okay, you may not be able to determine or to detect what the problem is. So I would advise that you start this way, okay? Then later on, if you have a thick yogurt, you can then always add extra water to lighten up the yogurt, okay? So you can see here that I measured 5 cups of room temperature water, okay? I'm going to be adding this inside my container of my measured milk, okay? So you just pour it in, then you mix to make sure that there is no lump, okay? Just try to dissolve the milk completely without having any lump, okay? So that is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to mix and mix and mix and mix and mix till I have no lump. Even if there is lump, don't worry, since you'll be adding hot water, the hot water is going to dissolve any lumps that you have left in the milk. So now that I'm done mixing, this is the perfect time for me to add my hot boiling water. Can you see that the water is very, very hot? You can see the smoke. So I'll just add one. Same thing, adding 5 cups of water. You can see where I filled the water, okay, at that same round line. Okay, I didn't fill it to the brim. Okay, so I'll just pour my 5 cups inside. So now, then I will now stir to make sure that I don't have any lump, okay? Because if I have any lump, by the time my yogurt ferments, I'm going to have I'm going to have lumps in my yogurt. And if at the end of the day, your end result, you have lumps, all you just have to do is just sieve out the lumps from your yogurt, okay? So now that I have my milk dissolved, next thing I'm going to do is to pour my powdered starter inside a bowl. Okay, can you see? That's all of the starter. Exhaust it inside the bowl. Then I'm going to take out small amount of my warm milk. Make sure to test the milk, okay? If the milk is too hot, you are going to kill all of the bacteria in your starter. And when you kill all of the bacteria in your starter, your yogurt will not ferment, okay? Your yogurt will not ferment at all, okay? So you just want to dip your finger inside your milk to make sure that it's warm but not hot, okay, and also not too cold, okay? If you have a very cold yogurt, your yogurt will not ferment. So I'm going to drop more notes on fermentation for us so we can understand the principles and guidelines to fermenting anything, just anything, okay? I'll be dropping it in the theories part of this class, okay? So what you want to do now is to mix your yogurt starter to make sure that you don't have any lump, okay? You want to make sure to dissolve all of the starter, all right? So you can see at some point I had to stop from using the wooden spatula to using a rubber spatula, okay? So now I will now add it inside my yogurt, okay? Just going to rinse the bowl. As correct jabuge now, I don't want to waste anything. So I'm just going to rinse with my yogurt. Just make sure that I get everything out of the bowl. Then I will stir to make sure that everything is well combined. Then I'm going to cover up my yogurt, okay? To ferment, I need it, okay? So I need to cover my food warmer or my airtight rubber, as the case may be, okay, to make sure that air does not come out or go in, okay? That's why you need a airtight bucket or airtight container so that you can trap all of the air. So another tip to do if you want your yogurt to ferment real quick is to just use a nylon, okay, to just cover. I may use black nylon, anything nylon, to just cover the airtight container, okay? Then you now use your cover to cover it up, okay? You all know now, if you want it to catch someone very, very well, just put the person in a nylon. The person is going to get suffocated, right? Okay, so that's just the thing. So once you cover it very well, all of the air will be trapped inside your yogurt bowl. Hence, it's going to activate all of the bacteria, okay, and making fermentation process real quick. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to get wrappers, thick wrappers, and just cover up your container, okay? We need heat. Our yeast needs heat. Our yeast needs heat to grow. Okay, so for us to get that heat, you still need to wrap your container with several wrappers. All right, so that's what I'm doing here. You can see I'm using some wrappers. I'm also using towel, very thick towel. Just wrap up with as many layers as possible. Okay. So after wrapping the yogurt up, I'm going to go ahead to keep it in a very warm place, okay, for 12 to 15 hours, okay. Majorly what I do is to keep it inside my oven. So if you don't have an oven, you may just keep it inside your wardrobe or anywhere that is warm, okay, maybe your kitchen, okay, for 12 hours, okay. So welcome back, guys. So this is after 12 hours. So I'm going to be unveiling our yogurt. Whew, I'm super nervous, right? Don't mind me. So I'm going to just check if my yogurt has formed. Okay. So if not, I'll just leave it for maybe like extra 1 hour. So you can see my bucket is still very warm. My food warmer is still warm. So I'm definitely sure I should have a fully set and fully fermented yogurt. Okay. That's one way to test if your yogurt is ready. You should still be able to feel some warmth around your airtight container. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Okay, and then remove the nylon and check this out. Look at that yogurt. You can see, so our yogurt is fully formed within 12 hours. Okay, that's one benefit of making sure to cover your yogurt properly. Okay, make sure to keep it in a very warm place. Okay, so you can see this is one way for you to know that your yogurt has fully incubated. You can see it has now formed something like a cord that's sticking up. Now let me use the board. You can see it looks just like cheese. All right, this is one way to know that our yogurt is ready. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to mix my yogurt. Okay, to mix, add flavor, add my sweetener. Okay, that's the next thing for us to do. Okay, so before that, I'm going to take out some yogurt out of this to use as my next starter. Okay, I'll also be sweetening my yogurt with sugar. This time around I'll be using sugar. All right, so before I add in my sugar, I'm going to take out some yogurt. I already said that if you need starter for your next production, you need to just, out of your freshly made unsweetened yogurt, unsweetened, unflavored yogurt, just take out some, maybe like 5 tablespoons, depending on the quantity you want to make for your next batch. Okay, maybe like you want to make 6 cups of milk, you can just take out 6 tablespoons of your fresh unsweetened unflavored yogurt. Okay, then you keep it inside a container. Then you just a container that has a cork that you can just cork and just lock somewhere. Okay, then you pour it inside, then you cork it, then keep in your freezer to freeze. Okay, then when next you want to use it for your production, all you just have to do is to just let it come back to room temperature. Okay, let it defrost and come back to room temperature. Okay, so this is me mixing my yogurt. All right, and you see, making sure to have a smooth blend of yogurt. You may use a mixer. I intend to use a mixer, but Nepa showed me shege. So let's move on. So if your yogurt is too thick, okay, like I have, your mine is very, very thick, all you just have to do is to add extra water. Okay, I added 5 cups instead of 5.5 because I was scared if the instant milk will work. So I used 5 cups. So automatically my yogurt is shorting 1 cup of water. Okay, so I'll be adding water later on. Now that I see that the milk worked, so I'll be adding extra water to lighten up my yogurt. Can you just see how thick and creamy this yogurt is? Okay, so now is the perfect time for me to just take out my next starter for my next production. So this way I don't have to be buying starter every time. Okay, it helped me save cost using this method. Okay, you can see how thick that yogurt is. Okay, so that's what I'm just doing using a funnel. I'm just going to be adding small quantity inside my cleaning rubber. Okay, you can see. So like I said before, what you just have to do is to keep this in your freezer, then bring it out of the freezer, defrost, let it come to room temperature, then you measure out inside your next production. This particular one is when you have to use 5 5 5 5. Okay, so let's say you want to make 5 cups of yogurt, so 5 cups of milk, you are going to use 5 tablespoons of this unsweetened yogurt. Do we understand now? Okay, so I'm just going to cap this and keep this in my freezer. Then I'll go ahead to flavor and sweeten this batch of yogurt. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to add my flavor inside my yogurt. Okay, in here I have payless flavor. This flavor is very sharp, unlike the Foster Clark's flavor. Okay, I'll show us the image of what the Foster Clark flavor looks like. So this is payless brand, to be precise. This is an industrial mixer. You want to make sure not to add too much of this flavor. If you add too much to your yogurt, you're going to end up having a bitter flavor. Okay, you just want to add a little bit to enhance the taste of your flavor, so that it goes from the bland taste to something that is flavorful. Okay, so this particular one I use vanilla flavor. So if you want to make a strawberry flavor, you just use strawberry flavor, then you add a touch of pink color. If you want to have banana flavored yogurt, just add banana flavor, then a bit of color yellow. You know, banana flavor is yellow. If you want to have mango, just add a bit of mango flavor, then a bit of yellow as well. Okay, do you understand? So after that, you just mix. But since this is vanilla, the only thing I'll be adding is my vanilla flavor only. Okay, so now I'm going to add my sugar, and there's one way you can do your sugar. You can just add it in your water, okay, to dissolve it, or you can just add it inside your sugar. But if you be adding your sugar inside your yogurt directly, you need to mix very well, okay, so you don't end up having a crumbly sugar. Okay, by the time you're taking your yogurt, you don't want to be eating sugar. Okay, because I'm not taking mine now, so I'm just adding the sugar directly. So you may just dissolve your sugar in water. Okay, so you're just going to mix this up, and then your delicious yummy yogurt is ready. Easy peasy. You can see no energy, has no much energy involved. It's very easy, like no